the country. And New York City Police Commissioner Dermot Shea says the new police reform policies put in place by Governor Cuomo won't impact the NYPD because they've already adopted those practices. He says now they're reassigning nearly 600 plainclothes police officers to other divisions.
We can do it with brains. We can do it with guile. We can move away from brute force. And it is lost on no one, certainly not the people that live in the neighborhoods that we serve, that endure being stopped.
In D.C., Washington, D.C., a Democratic proposal for police reform will be voted upon in the House of Representatives as early as next week. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says they're working across the aisle.
They have said they are willing to talk to try to find common ground, but the common ground does not mean we don't do anything. It means that we are bold, that we make change, and that we have justice in policing.
Senate Republicans have their own proposal. Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina says they need to vote on that measure before the July 4th recess. 3 New York City police officers working with those protests were treated at a hospital after drinking Shake Shack milkshakes that are believed to have been contaminated with bleach. New York City police have determined there was no criminality by Shake Shack employees. The restaurant says it is horrified. Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Quick Take by Bloomberg, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. I'm Amy Morris. This is Bloomberg. Nathan.
Thanks, Amy. 5:35 on Wall Street. John Stashower has a Bloomberg Sports update. Good morning, John.
All right, good morning, Nathan. Things have really gone from bad to worse in the baseball labor dispute. Commissioner Rob Manfred now saying he's not confident there will be a season. Just last week, he said it was 100% there would be one.
We are running out of time. The clock is ticking on this. But the key, the important first step is a willingness on the part of the MLBPA to get back at the table and engage in the process.
The union saying they're disgusted with the clubs. Manfred admitting the optics are a disaster. Keep in mind, all this is not over negotiations of a 5-year labor deal. It's all about how much money guys would make over a 3-month period. Manfred made his comments on ESPN. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell was also on. He says he can't order a team to sign Colin Kaepernick, but if someone did, he'd support it. Cowboys star running back Zeke Elliott has the virus, said to be feeling well. Other players in Dallas and Houston have it as well. Denver Nuggets coach Mike Malone says he had it and beat it. The USTA said yesterday in New York that the U.S. Open tennis will be played as scheduled early September without fans. A scaled-down WNBA season will begin late July with all the games played in Bradenton, Florida. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan's been given a new 6-year contract, makes him among the highest-paid coaches in the NFL. Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy has met controversy before, downplaying the virus, saying liberalism is responsible for players transferring. Gundy seen wearing an OAN T-shirt. That's for One American News, a far-right network that has pushed conspiracy theories, has called Black Lives Matter a farce. Gundy star running back Chuba Hubbard responded saying he wants nothing to do with the school, but he later appeared shaking hands in a video with his coach. John Stashower, Bloomberg Sports. Nathan?
Thanks, John. As fears of a second coronavirus outbreak take hold, one biotech executive is bullish on the chance for a vaccine by the end of this year. Moderna CEO Stefan Bancel spoke with David Rubenstein on Leadership Live, heard weekly on Bloomberg Television.
So I think there's a high probability that several vaccines will make it to the finish line. It could be as early as the end of the year or early next year.
The CEO of Moderna says efficacy data for its COVID-19 vaccine could be available as soon as Thanksgiving if everything goes right. It's currently in second-stage trials. Final stage tests are set to begin on 30,000 people next month. It's 5:38 on Wall Street. Time now for the Tri-State Business Report. Here's Bloomberg's Ed Corey.
Airbnb has settled a major lawsuit against New York City and agreed to hand over personal data on its hosts. The agreement could cost Airbnb tens of thousands of listings in the city, but it also gets the home share startup closer to clarifying its legal status in one of the company's biggest domestic markets. New York State tax receipts in May fell about $767 million, or about 20% from the same month a year ago, according to the state comptroller. The data released Monday is the latest sign of the revenue trouble New York is facing because of the coronavirus pandemic. Looks like Connecticut is currently in good shape for the next round of business reopenings scheduled for this week. That's according to Governor Ned Lamont. He says the state's rate of infection is about 2%, and that means it's ready for the next phase of reopening on Wednesday. That's your Bloomberg Tri-State Business Report. I'm Ed Corey.
Thanks, Ed. 5:39 on Wall Street. Bloomberg Radio is on the air from San Francisco to New York, London to Hong Kong. Let's check in with our global news team for some of the top stories heard on our 300 affiliate radio stations around the world.
I'm Courtney Donahoe on KTRH in Houston. The IEA said oil demand won't recover until at least 2022.
I'm Steve Podeskin on 1010 Winds in New York. We're talking about J.P. Morgan Chase bringing more employees back into the office.
I'm Caroline Hepk on Bloomberg DAB Digital Radio in London. We're reporting on the huge rise in UK jobless numbers.
I'm Gina Cervetti, and for WFLA in Orlando, I'm reporting that T-Mobile says it's fixed an outage that affected customers in several states yesterday.
I'm Ed Corey on WWJ in Detroit. I'm reporting the Consumers Energy Foundation will give $100,000 to support the Black Lives Matter movement.
Those are some of the stories our 2,700 Bloomberg journalists and analysts are working on this morning around the world. 5:40 on Wall Street, and the latest edition of Bloomberg Business Week is online now with the cover on the great disconnect between stock prices and earnings. Terminal customers can receive a complimentary subscription at MAG Go and listen to Business Week with Carol Masser and Jason Kelly right here on Bloomberg Radio, or watch it on YouTube weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. Wall Street time. Get global business, finance, and tech news on your TV, computer, or mobile device. Just visit youtube.com and search Bloomberg Global News. S&P futures higher by 34 points. Dow futures up 420. NASDAQ futures a gain of 111. This is Bloomberg.
25 years ago, NJIT graduate Dick Sweeney co-founded Keurig Green Mountain, a company whose incredible innovations changed the way the world brews a cup of coffee. Today, he lectures widely on business leadership and is a strong advocate for NJIT's work to combine business education with the power of STEM.
NJIT is definitely fostering innovative thinking for budding entrepreneurs simply because that's the world we live in. NJIT is producing students that have been trained, educated, and given the business acumen to be a contributor to a company. The distinct mission is to develop great STEM scholars. The attributes I've always looked for in team members are heart, smarts, guts, and luck. So we want people with passion, intelligence, courage, and never discount luck. The student coming out of NJIT has experienced all of that.
NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. Learn more at njit.edu.
Asset managers who seize change to launch new strategies, add distribution channels, or exploit new technology to re-engineer the investor experience are often rewarded. However, in an industry paralyzed with complexity, few act with agility or decisively. Few run their businesses strategically, yet the most competitive managers in the market know with the right partner and a flexible operating system, you can. Go boldly toward change with SEI Investment Manager Services.
Determination and operational strength are both essential factors for growth in asset management. I'm Steve Meyer, President and Head of SEI's Investment Manager Services Division. We know that disruptive forces create opportunities around the world. If you see potential in change, our industry specialists will maximize SEI's integrated platform of data and risk management, global investment operations, compliance support, and investor services to position your asset management business for success. Come grow with us.
With SEI Investment Manager Services, you lead the charge in a competitive marketplace. Learn more at SEIC.com/seize change. This is your...
Listen, that's a dream. Everyone has them, jingling away in the back of our minds. And most of the time, that's where dreams stay. So easy to ignore. Anything can drown them out, and everything does. But at Honda, we listen to our dreams. We get right up close. And on really good days, they become reality. From 2022, Honda's mainstream cars will only be hybrid or electric. Honda, the power of dreams.
The IBM Flash storage solution can be broken down into 3 S's. Speed, retrieve data fast. Scalability, grow your storage as your business grows. Simplicity, easily migrate and integrate with existing systems. Oh, and there's a 4th. It's surprisingly affordable, with a recommended monthly price of £200 for 26 terabytes. Order by the 30th of June and pay nothing for 90 days. Visit ibm.biz/flash offer now.
TfL has a plan to help London reopen carefully, safely and sustainably. You can do your bit by continuing to work from home if you can and avoiding public transport. If you have to use public transport, you must now wear a face covering at all times, avoid peak hours and wash your hands before and after travel. For everyone's safety, we regularly clean our services with antiviral disinfectant and will be providing hand sanitizer across our network. For more information, search TfL's Restart Plan. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
Get your cook on with Asda. With Uncle Ben's rice, 250 grams for just £1. And our Butcher's Selection chicken breast fillets, only £3.40 for 650 grams. Why not whack it in the wok? At Asda, we're committed to low prices every day on the quality products you need. Asda. Selected stores and lines subject to availability.
You love TuneIn for live breaking news from CNN, MSNBC, Fox, CNBC, and more. But when you can't catch your favorite show as it airs, it might just be a click away as a podcast. Search your favorite news station to explore all the on-demand news shows on TuneIn.
Looking to freshen up your listening on TuneIn? Head to the homepage to discover something new. There you'll see custom recommendations based on your listening habits, along with new episodes of shows you've enjoyed in the past. Uncover your next audio obsession on the homepage.
On air and at TikTok on Twitter. Powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in over 120 countries. This is Bloomberg Radio. Now, a global news update.
President Trump is set to announce executive actions on police procedures. A top Democrat takes issue with Senate Republicans preparing a package of changes.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Senate Republicans are going about police reform in the wrong way.
The Republicans, it seems, are going to leave much of the task up to the states.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate approach is a good one.
Our conference is developing a serious proposal to reform law enforcement in smart ways.
Senator Schumer says it's not smart to follow the Republican state-by-state approach to reform.
Progress on civil rights has been stunted, slowed down, and sometimes stymied by letting states take the lead.
Linda Kenyon, Washington.
India says at least 3 of its soldiers have been killed battling Chinese soldiers along their disputed frontier high in the Himalayas, where thousands of troops on both sides have been facing off for over a month. I'm John Trout.
It's a new disease making an unprecedented impact.
The job losses were widespread.
It is a stunningly historic moment.
Your best strategy?
Is this a market that's accepted reality?
Bloomberg Surveillance, weekday mornings at 7 Eastern on Bloomberg Radio. Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and on Quick Take by Bloomberg. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
And I'm Karen Moscow. This update brought to you by SEI, with an operating platform designed to support all major asset classes, diverse strategies, and investment vehicles. SEI is redefining wealth management. Learn more at SEIC.com/IMS. We're watching some breaking headlines crossing the Bloomberg. Apple facing 2 European Union antitrust investigations into its App Store rules and Apple Pay, that according to the European Commission. Watching shares of Apple this morning, they're still higher. They were higher before this headline crossed, up 1.5%. They're now up 1.1%, so trimming their gains just a little. S&P futures are higher. They're up about 36 points. Dow futures up 436. NASDAQ futures up 115. Futures are advancing as plans for more U.S. stimulus revive investor sentiment. The DAX in Germany is up 2.8%. 10-year Treasury down 6/32, yield 0.74%. The yield on the 2-year 0.19%. NYMEX crude oil up 1.4% or 51 cents at $37.63 a barrel. COMEX gold up 0.6% or $9.80 at $17.37 an ounce. The euro 1.1329 against the dollar. The yen 107.39. That's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now here's Amy Morris with more on what's going on around the world. Amy.
All right. Thank you, Karen. South Korea says that North Korea has blown up an inter-Korean liaison office building just north of the border. India, meanwhile, claims at least 3 of its soldiers were killed in a confrontation with Chinese soldiers along their disputed frontier. And there are ongoing concerns about a second wave of coronavirus